Here are some short clips of my mountain tubing adventures on Kauai. I had a blast, enjoyed it so much, everyone was so helpful, and the rest of this video is going to show how I enjoyed it as a T6 paraplegic. First, you gotta come up the ramp, see the check-in sign, and they will point you to your designated check-in area. That's where you'll meet your tour guide and get all your gear. Take a look around, you'll see lots of pictures from previous tours, a little bit of history of the area you're tubing in. After a little briefing, we'll go ahead and grab our gear. You can see I have my helmet, it's got a headlamp on it as well. Pretty cool because we're going through tunnels. I'll make my way down to the loading area. You can see once I approach this ramp, it's pretty steep, so I wheelie down. I think it's a good goal to have in mind if you haven't mastered wheeling down ramps, because it'll help you go through different types of terrain, especially very steep terrain, independently. Once everyone was unloaded from the previous tour, I was ready to load the bus myself. I wanted to give a good visualization of what it would look like if you decide to go in the future, so you can do it however you want. You could transfer up these blue steps, but that takes quite a bit of time, and there's people on the bus waiting, and there's a tour after us. So I decided to have them move the steps for me and have my friend Jason assist me up onto the bus. I asked him to grab behind my knees, and I put my right arm around his neck and my left arm on the bus floor to push my butt up onto the bus floor. This was pretty easy with assistance from Jason, but you can also do a piggyback ride, have two people carry you on each side. But once I got up, I was able to do an easy transfer from the floor to the bus chair, and I was good to go. So I still need my chair for the rest of the tour, and these guys were awesome and made some space in the front of the bus to store my chair for when I unload it later. The first part of the tour, once everyone's on the bus, will be on a paved road. Now we're going to do some off-roading and onto the dirt path. It does get very bumpy at some points, but it is a super beautiful, gorgeous route to the tubing area, so enjoy all of it and soak it in. We ran into some little piggies on the way up to the tubing area. They ran up to say hi. They're very familiar with us coming through. Give them a little wave. The first stop of our tour is the lookout of Mount Waialeale. I highly recommend getting out and looking at the views. It's so beautiful. I did the same transfer as before, just in reverse with Jason's help. I had my dad help me up this little hill so I can get to the viewpoint and see the lookout of Mount Waialeale. When you get here, you can listen in on the history and take some cool pictures and videos. Once we saw the bamboo trees, that means we were ready to start our tubing adventures. I transferred down to the floor of the bus from the chair. I had Jason assist me. He grabbed the back of my knees as before. I wrapped my left arm around his neck and guided my butt down with my right hand on my wheel. After this, we made our way over to the bins where we could store our belongings. They kept it secure and safe for us until we were done with our tour. Then I am going to make my way to the briefing before we get into the water. After the briefing, I was the first one to go into the water. There are some dirt wooden steps, and I decided to go backwards in my chair. You can see once I get set up, I grab the wire railing with my right hand and have my dad assist me going backwards down the stairs, as well as other tour guides and Jason making sure everything goes smoothly. Again, you can do this however you want. I just wanted to give you a good visual of what it looks like when you get to the start of the tubing area. Once I got to the last step, I was able to do a little spin around, and there was a little ramp down to the water. So again, it's good to know how to do your wheelies, because I wheelied down this ramp to get to the water. Once I got to the water, our really great tour guide Cody held the tube for me while I transferred from my chair to the tube. Once I was set and ready in the water, they took my chair to the end point of the tubing where I will pick it up later, and I grabbed the rope and waited for the rest of my group to get in the water. Now for the start of the tubing adventures, we got Cody and Kaika, a couple of our tour guides. They are leading the pack right now before we hit our first tunnel. Now we are approaching the first tunnel. It is still a pretty smooth ride. Pretty cool to go through this with your headlamps. Just make sure you turn the lights on so you can see. But yeah, check it out. We are exiting the first tunnel right here. You can see Sophia is in front of me. She is one of the extra tour guides they had helping on this tour because I am a paraplegic. So I thought that was really helpful. They made sure I was in the front the whole time. So you will see in this video, I am in the front the whole time because there's times where the tubes can get backed up and trapped and I can't use my legs and have limited mobility. So it was just easier and safer to keep me up front. During this part of the tour, Sophia was telling us how each wall has wild clay on it. So we were able to scoop some up with our fingers and kind of paint our faces however we want. There's cameramen down the river. There's a few of them, so be sure to put some on your face if you want to. One of my favorite parts of the tour, there's a little drop slide and it kind of sends you, so make sure you hold on. There's a cameraman up top, so make sure you smile. I am crossing my legs this entire time if you haven't noticed. I don't want to get my feet caught on the sides because I can't move my legs and I don't want to get scraped or anything, so I thought this was an easy position and a safer position for me. I wore closed-toed Vans. You can get some water shoes, and I have some leggings on. They don't go all the way down, but just be mindful of what you're wearing because you don't want to scrape up your legs and your feet. After 2.5 miles of tubing and 5 tunnels, we were done for the tubing adventures, and we had everyone get out of the water first, and I got out last. Again, you can do this however you want. These guys were super cool and they wanted to carry me in my tube. You can tell them you want to do it a different way if you want. I just thought it was a cool idea because I wanted to see how they would do it. I was kind of winging it myself as well, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna grab the green railing where my dad is, where the wood railing is. So I lifted myself up and I had them slide my chair under my butt and push my hips onto my chair. Now the tour isn't over yet. We have a picnic to go to that they provide for us on this trip as well. Once we arrive to the picnic area, everyone will get off first and I will get off last and do my same transfer as before. We made our own little sandwiches, had some chips, cookies, water, enjoyed the beautiful views back here. There's some animals that might be around too. But after this, we head back to where we checked in and gather our belongings and head back. Before you head on this tour, make sure you contact the company and let them know of your disability. Wear the right gear so you don't have any scrapes, and make sure you ask for a tubing with a bottom cover. Thanks for watching.